This is not a test. We back outside, baby. We back.
Showtime. Banner number 18 has been secured. History. Way downtown. Bang!
We been home, but guess what? We back outside. Like my circle, smoky haters outside. Springing for you, catch us outside. Yeah, we outside. We back outside.
Friends, the NBA is back. 4.5 hours to tip off of the 2024-25 NBA season. And I don't know about you guys, but I came to work today. I had a little pep in my step. I was ready to say, welcome to NBA Today, presented by ESPN Bet. And then, as I was driving in, this rained on our parade just a little bit. According to our Shams Charania, Paul George, Joel Embiid, they're going to miss the season opener on Wednesday night. Paul George is recovering from a bone bruise in his knee, while Embiid will not play this entire week for injury management. But you know what? Enough doom and gloom of tomorrow. Let's get the party of tonight started a little bit with, of course, the defending champs. And for that, we need to say hello to Kendrick Perkins, who aptly is dressed in green. Perk, I'm going to put 24 seconds on the clock here to talk about the Boston Celtics. What are your expectations for them this season?
Well, they're going to pick up right where they left off. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they're going to be better. They felt like as champions, they were disrespected all this offseason. We could talk about the Olympics. We could talk about both of those guys not, Jaylen Brown not being part of the Olympics. But at the end of the day, it's about 18, the number 18. I ain't talking about Peyton Manning. Damn it, I'm talking about the banner tonight. It's going to be a movie in there.
Well, we're going to hold our predictions for who we think is going to be crowned this season for a little bit later in the show. Kendrick Perkins, thank you so very much. But there was a lot of player movement this offseason, right? The Knicks, they made 2 huge deals in acquiring Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. Brian Windhorst, I'm putting you on the clock because a lot of us are really high on the New York Knicks. I hear you have some thoughts.
Good news, Jalen Brunson looks spectacular. He's going to be great. Not as good news, the Knicks are struggling a little bit to start this season. Mikal Bridges is struggling with his jump shot. They only have 10 healthy roster players. 2 of them are rookies. Their 4th-string center, Jericho Sims, will be their backup to start the season. We've also seen Josh Smith struggle getting into his new role. It's not the end of the world, but don't be alarmed if the Knicks have a little bit of trouble coming out of the gate.
And more on the other side of this trade later in the show. Julius Randle, he will be stopping by. Thank you so much, Brian. Let's get to the second game of the evening. It's a matchup between the old and the new guard, LeBron, Anthony Edwards. So with Cat now in New York, Anthony Edwards, he has a new partner here in Julius Randle. Chiney, how quickly do you think these guys can get going?
First of all, 2 words for Anthony Edwards: box office. I love this guy. Everyone fell in love with Ant Edwards, especially during the postseason. He averaged 27, 7, and 7. But these 2, what I like about them, they have the same mentality. Perk, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it for me? Are you going to bark? There's some dogs. There we go. It's NBA season. These guys are some dogs, and I love that tenacity will hopefully take them over the edge where they fell short last year.
See, if I didn't have a cup of coffee now, I'm ready to go. It does feel like Anthony Edwards is primed for an incredibly special season. You see how she just swished? Nothing but net. Boston has been the clear-cut best team heading into this year, and they also have the best odds to repeat as champions. Now, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla, he was asked yesterday if he felt any pressure as the team is about to embark on their journey to attempt to repeat. And he answered in only a way that he can.
Zero, no pressure. We're all going to be dead soon, and it really doesn't matter anymore, so there's 0 pressure. You're either going to win or you're not. So, it's not pressure. There's nothing anyone in this circle can do to me that's going to impact my identity and who I am as a person or a coach. We're either going to win or we're not, and 40 years from now, none of you are invited to my funeral, and that's it.
Just none of you are going to come to my funeral, and that's it.
Yeah, he just misunderstood. You know what I mean? me and Joe, we got dinner plans this year. You know what I mean? Me and Joe Mazzulla, we got dinner plans. We go sit down at the table and talk a lot of things out. But he's right, though. It's no pressure. They just won the championship, right? At the end of the day, it's hard to repeat, but we know it's on their mind to go out there and do it. But there's no pressure on the Celtics to go out there and defend their titles. See?
That's just a topic bar I didn't know we were going to have today. No pressure. We're all going to be dead soon.
I know, right?
Honestly, sometimes that's the perspective.
Quote. That is not messed around. That's a real quote.
The perspective that we all need to keep the small things small. But we haven't seen a repeat champ in 6 seasons, right? But the Celtics are looking like they have what it takes to end that drought. drought. So let's go into the bonus. Get ready for their ring ceremony matchup against the Knicks because Boston won games by nearly 11 points last season. That was the 5th best in NBA history. 2 of the 4 teams with higher point differentials, they went on to repeat as champs. So expect a fast start from the reigning Finals MVP Jaylen Brown against the Knicks. He scored 25 or more in 4 career season openers. That is tied with the 2nd most in Celtics history. As for the Knicks, they've had some success against Boston since Tom Thibodeau took over. The Knicks' 8 wins against the Celtics during that span. That is the most in the NBA. So let's look at the Knicks side of this a little bit more because at the top of the show, we glossed over this, Brian. You were a little down on the Knicks in the 24 seconds that we gave you.
Okay, before I get Perk all upset on opening day.
It's already happening. I can see it brewing.
I don't mean in their chances of competing in the East. I mean as they start the season. Just take a look at what's happening to start the season. I know that they won, Perk. I know that they were 4-1 in the preseason. I know. But there's just some issues with adjusting to new roles. I don't think Karl Towns has settled in that new role yet. I don't think Karl Towns has played this much center that he's going to need to play in a long time. Josh Hart is struggling with his transition to a new role. He played 90 minutes in the preseason. He took 6 shots. He scored 2 points. Okay? Mikal Bridges is a 3-and-D player. He is a very important three-point shooter for them. He was 2 of 19 in the preseason from three-point range. He has changed his shot, which he admits, and it doesn't look clean. It may look great in 6 weeks. It doesn't look good right now, okay? They have 8 players. They have 10 players, 8 of which are non-rookies, basically 2 rookies. And their 4th-string center, Jericho Sims, is going to have to be their backup center. So all I'm saying is just keep a cool booty, Perk. They don't start 10-0. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Brian, they need help on their roster. They have 12 standard contracts right now. They have to, by rules, sign 2 players within the first 2 weeks of the regular season. So once 2 weeks are up, they need to sign 2 more players. I'm told one player that they have serious interest in signing at that point, Matt Ryan, free agent, sharpshooter, 6'7" shooter. He spent time with the Lakers, the Celtics, the Timberwolves, most recently the Pelicans. He shot 45% from 3 last year for the Pelicans. And you think about Landry Shamet, they lost him for an extended period of time. Just a brutal dislocated shoulder for him in the preseason. He's out. They waived him, obviously. Yeah. So they need that position. That shooter position is something that they badly need. And so Matt Ryan, potentially, they could sign in the near future when you think about the NBA calendar coming up.
Okay, so that's another healthy body adding to the New York Knicks here, Perk. Brian warned you. Please keep a cool booty about all of this, can you?
No, I can't. Look, here's the thing. When you're talking about a Tom Thibodeau-led team, I don't even focus on the offensive end. I focus on the defensive end. And the one thing that we know about Tom Thibodeau is that he's going to have his team prepared every single night. Another thing that we know about Tom Thibodeau is that his team is going to go out there and compete every single night. So, with their big 3 in Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby, they have enough to get it done and to win games so that they don't have to get off to a slow start, Wendy. Mikal Bridges, he will find his rhythm from the three-point line. But again, he's a player that could affect the game by not just scoring the ball because he could do so many other things on the floor that doesn't show up in the stat sheet.
Well, you said the magic words, Karl Anthony Towns. We're going to get to see him make his official debut with the New York Knicks tonight. Chiney, what are you looking at from Kat here?
The season is
first of the
here,
season!
And we get to see the new look Knicks against the defending champs right now. And we all know that there's good energy in New York these days, especially after the Liberty. Let's switch boroughs, though, from Brooklyn to Manhattan, as Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges now come into the lineup and bring versatility on both offense and defense, respectively. So what is it this year? Let's take it to the core. Here we go. Offensively, Karl Anthony Towns. You guys said, okay, he has to embrace his role, but guess what? Travels, three-point shooting. If you're really in drop coverage, he'll knock it down. Last season, he shot 43% on catch and shoot 3. So as long as he has space and time, their offense is going to look pretty good. But if we're talking offense, we have to know that their coach loves defense. They had a big pickup in Mikal Bridges. Y'all, I love his commitment to pressure. He turns around, he gets in his stance, and watch this right here. Moves his feet. I know a lot of people are critical of his shot, but guess what? He deters plenty shots on the floor with that tremendous extension. So I'm excited for the New York Knicks, but also they're going up against a squad. The Celtics, they won their championship championship. And when you win, especially when you win big, you get paid, young fella. You get paid. The Jays have the two largest contracts in NBA history, and they look to continue to make good on those deals. So I'll show you exactly how these two, in some ways, which is wild, have continued to improve. All you NBA haters, please sit down. Jaylen Brown is going left. He added muscle, and watch this right here. He hits you with a little bit of an okey-doke turnaround, able to muscle his way. If he's able to do that, that's going to help them a lot, especially without Kristaps Porzingis. And of course, we talk about Jaylen. Let's talk about Jason. Last year in the postseason, he sort of struggled shooting from three. He only shot around, 28%? But in the preseason so far, he's upped that number to near 40%. So if these guys are dialed in, not only when it comes to the paint, but also when it comes to the perimeter, they're going to do all right, especially without Porzingis. Now, these two teams, they truly are championship contenders, but the journey starts today on day one, Malika.